Hello and welcome to another riveting episode of the GoNoGo show. I'm back. I'm sorry I was out last week. It was a rough week. My car's in the shop. I was on a cruise, a Walking Dead cruise, hanging out with the cast and whatnot and all that stuff. So it was pretty damn awesome. So it was worth it. But anyway, I'm back. I'm here to review the movies for you today. We're going to come at you with all the new releases. We're going to start off with The Fifth Wave. We're going to go right into Dirty Grandpa, and we're going to end off strong with The Boy. We're going to jump right into it today because we've got a pretty packed episode for you. But yeah, I see all the movies so you don't have to. That's the whole point of the show. So right now what we're going to do, actually before we get into everything like that, let me get into the social media stuff. The social media, if you want to see our reviews, stuff that we review here or other stuff that we can't review here, you could go on our Instagram page, which has the most followers so far, at GoNoGo Movie Reviews on Instagram. We have our Twitter page, at GoNoGo Show. And we have our Facebook page, GoNoGo Show on Facebook. Like it, check it out. We share a lot of cool movie news and stuff like that. You get a little bit more interactive on that. And if you want to see more of these shows with our pretty faces, me and my co-host Nees, who's out this week, but if you want to just see more of me, you can go on YouTube. On our YouTube page, it's GoNoGo Show. GoNoGo is one word, and then show. So put in the search bar, GoNoGo as one word, show, and you'll see all the episodes here. So we're going to jump right into it. And since the first movie we're reviewing is The Fifth Wave, starring one of my favorites, Chloe Grace Moretz, I believe her name is. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I really love her. She's also starring in a new movie coming out that we're going to play the trailer for you right now, an exclusive new movie. It's the sequel to Neighbors. It's all about a sorority now instead of a frat, and she's one of the stars of it. So we have the trailer here for you today. Want you to check it out. We're going to check out right now Neighbors 2.
I feel so close to you right now.
Welcome to Phi Lambda.
Hi, what are you doing? We don't hit joints in here.
Your parties must suck.
No, we don't throw parties here. In the United States, sororities are not allowed to throw parties in their own houses. Only frats can.
This is a sexist, restrictive system.
We're gonna start a sorority that can party the way that we want to.
What's the name of our sorority?
Kappa.
Kappa Nu.
We are the first sorority that can party. Welcome to our sorority, Kappa Nu.
We're never going to sell our house with a sorority living next door. What are we going to do?
Maybe it's not that bad. Girls are usually quiet. They don't really take hard drugs. And they're much smarter. Oh no, I killed a girl.
I'm a painkillers, bitch! Kappa Nu!
We need somebody who can relate to stupid young people.
Hey neighbors, let's shut this shit down.
For my theme song, my leather black jeans on.
Good disguises, everyone. You look like a psychopath.
It's a clown, man. People love clowns.
Christ, just stop doing that.
Middle America pack.
They're trying to dismantle our sorority.
I got an idea. We go with the airbag trick.
That's not going to work.
If it worked with guys, why won't it work for girls?
These guys are idiots.
You know it, and you know it.
It's a little hard to call the cops without a phone.
Give us that back.
No!
Oh.
What the?
It's called a cord, dumbass.
Get old people phone!
Those girls are out of control.
Get away from me! They're using their sexuality as a weapon. Someone help me!
Get out of here, you animals!
This isn't working! You're only making them sexier!
They don't understand that there's no I in sorority.
There's two, actually.
There's just one.
No, that's a Y.
No in the middle.
That's an O.
sorority.
Sorority?
That's how you spell it.
You think the titty is silent? Stop it! Stop it!
I gotta admit, I'm a pretty big fan of the first one. I thought it was hilarious. Seth Rogen could do, his movies are always funny, and it's just a good team up right there. So, yeah, so there you go. There's Chloe Grace Moretz in Neighbors 2, and we're going to jump into her next movie, which is this, another one in the young adult novel-type series franchise, dystopian future, post-apocalyptic, blah, 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 blah. It's called The Fifth Wave. Let's check it out.
All right, be good. If you can't be good.
Don't get caught.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Love you too, Mom.
Okay, who can give me the derivative of X?
What's going on?
Did you guys see that? Oh my god.
At 1:07 a.m., the Odyssey satellite received images of an object moving past Mars.
It's right over us.
I want to see.
I didn't know it then, but that was the last normal day of my life.
We have reason to believe there's an imminent threat to this location.
All right, stay with your sister.
The waves have begun.
It started.
Coordinated attacks on metropolitan areas.
The first wave knocked out all the power. Then the second wave hit. An earthquake strong enough to shake the entire planet.
Cassie! Okay, I got you.
With the third wave, disease spread across the world. By the fourth wave, they were among us.
The others have the ability to inhabit human hosts. They could be anywhere.
We can't trust anyone anymore.
Cassie!
The others took my brother, and I'm gonna go get him.
You will learn to think, move, and fight like soldiers.
I want to be ready.
You won't get very far on your own. Grab the gun and snap my hand away. Good.
How are we supposed to fight them if we don't even know what they are?
What are you? They took everything from me.
My sister's coming.
Sam! This is our world. This is our home.
Move!
Our only choice is to take it back.
Drop it!
I know you're human.
How?
Because if you were one of them, you would have shot me already.
Whoa, right? Intense, right? Right? I love, there she is. This is Chloe Grace. I'm just going to say Chloe Grace because I don't want to butcher her last name again. She was Hit Girl, in case you don't remember. She was Hit Girl in the Kick-Ass movies, so she could definitely handle her own. She's a great actress and a great action star as well. You mix that into a movie. Look at this kind of this right here. This like alien spaceship kind of reminded me of District 9, if you remember that movie. Another fantastic future movie. But anyway, I'm getting off the point here. This movie. I was very excited for it. The special effects looked great. It was post-apocalyptic. It's right up my alley. I love those survival type movies and stuff like that, which is why I'm wondering how they could have gotten it so wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you didn't expect to hear that, but this movie is just one of those movies that I don't think is going to have the legs to stand on to start a franchise. It was obviously made to be a franchise Kickstarter. It turned into a Twilight, basically. And, Twilight worked when it worked for the crowd that it worked for. It didn't promise this huge, action extravaganza. It started off as just like a love triangle with vampires and werewolves and stuff and feeding on girls' fantasies of the forbidden love type stuff. But this one promised this like dystopian type of action thriller, and it turned into a sappy love triangle, thing. The whole trailer. She's trying to say that she's trying to find her brother right here. There we go. She's trying to find her brother, but yeah, she has time to fall in love with whoever's trying to save her. So it's like. It's just weird that all the action, it started off strong. Don't get me wrong. I was really into it. I was the special effects. You could tell that Hollywood dumped all their money on this budget into either her paycheck and the special effects or just the special effects. You had some top-notch actors. Then you had Lee Schreiber, Ray Donovan, for any of you TV fans out there. You have Maria Bello, who's another seasoned vet, which I'm guessing now after seeing the movie, thinking that this must have been a huge payday for them. And they were probably thinking, I could probably get 4 or 5 movies out of this in small parts, because you had Maria Bello in there as like this soldier trying to help raise this child army to fight the others, is what they call them. Very original, just like in the show Lost. But anyway, when they have to go fight the others, they have like this child army. So you see like this 6-year-old holding an AK-47, which was kind of weird. And she's walking around like, good, all right, here we go. Got to be tougher than that, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, she has this weird haircut, and she's obviously doesn't care about character development or what she's doing. She just, it has to be a payday for her because she's so good. Maria, if you ever see this, you are so good. You're better than this. It had to be a payday for her. But yeah, it turned into you know, with that kind of stuff going on, the storyline was just all over the place. You know, she was being taught by the guy that she's kind of like feeling. She's being taught how to, you know, take a gun away from her and how to use it. He's like, safety, click, it's loaded. This takes the clip out, blah blah blah. And then like the very next scene, she picks up like a semi-automatic weapon from like someone on the ground, and she's just like and using it and like walking tactically and stuff like that. It's like, all right, you know, they didn't show the progression of her learning anything. It was just like, okay, you had to teach me how to use a handgun. I'm going to bat my eyes at you, and now all of a sudden I could take out whoever I want to take out. So I'm sorry, guys. They put no effort into this one. It was a straight up starter piece. There was no us versus them type of thing. It was all about saving her brother, and it ended with a huge cliffhanger, just basically saying, "Stay tuned for the next one." And unfortunately, when it comes to movies like this, it was completely derivative of everything you've seen before. Twilight, Divergent, Hunger Games. Those kind of movies were well enough on their own to be strong enough to start a franchise and get people into it and stuff like that. I feel this one's going to fall in the way of The Giver, because that movie was another one they were supposed to kickstart a franchise and it just wasn't good enough. So unfortunately, I'm sure she'll be fine. She got Neighbors 2 coming out. She's going to be just fine. So this isn't going to hurt her career or anybody in it who was a part of it. But unfortunately, this was not what I expected. So I'm going to have to give this one a no-go for the theater experience. You want to check it out on DVD or something like that, that's fine. You know, it wasn't a terrible movie. I enjoyed a little bit of it. It was just so ridiculous, though, some certain parts. And I was a little disappointed. So no-go on The Fifth Wave. Now, coming up from another character in the first Neighbors 2 trailer, Zac Efron, we're going to come up on his new movie with Robert De Niro, the legend Robert De Niro. Keep that in mind while you watch this trailer called Dirty Grandpa. Let's check it out.
I don't understand why you have to drive down to Florida. We just had the funeral.
Your grandmother and I were there at this time every year.
It just seems like we're cutting it a little close with the rehearsal brunch on Friday. I'm just freaking out.
I know.
Can you take my car, sweetie? I need the SUV for the wine.
Now let's get in that giant labia you drove up in and get out of here.
Hey, we're heading to Daytona. So you guys want to tag along for a bit, maybe? Party some babies into us?
Oh, we're not going to Daytona. Bam, are you kidding me right now? Grandma's funeral was yesterday.
She told me on her deathbed, you get back out there again.
Hey, Grandpa.
Did he just call you Grandpa?
What the?
Want to be a lamb and get that for me? Did you ever go on spring break?
No. Hey, you know 1 in 3 of these girls has herpes, even if you can't see it.
Whoops, that never usually happens.
Really, it happens to me all the time.
Daytona Beach!
You're in Daytona Beach?
We're just driving through.
Jason!
She's not right for you. If you marry her, you're gonna be sleepwalking through the rest of your life. The way I see it, this is our last stand.
Get off my mother.
Party till you're pregnant!
This is crack.
I just smoke crack?
Yeah, but just like a lot.
I just smoke crack!
In the street like ballet.
I want you to know how much I appreciate you doing this for me.
Just get naked.
That's the best way to sleep.
Oh my God.
I want you to tear open my bra like it's a social security check. Now fumble around and pretend like you're trying to find your glasses.
I found them.
I can see.
The greatest gift a grandson can give his grandfather was a hot college girl who wants to have unprotected sex with him before he dies.
Most grandpas just want toffee or socks.
This was my face watching this movie. You know, I started off when I first saw this trailer, it started off with me thinking, wow, this is Robert De Niro. This is our Academy Award-winning legend of film, Robert De Niro, sinking down to this level. And I don't know if it's just him trying to have fun in his later years, or if it's a huge payday, which he obviously does not need. I was trying to put together why he would do something like this, but at this point, I don't even care anymore. When it comes to movies like this, Dirty Grandpa, it was just like Bad Grandpa or Bad Santa and stuff like that, where it's, you know, the Bad Santa, let's say, was dirty and it was filthy and it had crude jokes and stuff like that. But it also had a kind of a storyline, and it also had some heart to it because of the relationship between him and the little fat kid. I forgot his name, but he was awesome. This didn't. This was just dirty, gratuitous, filthy jokes for the sake of being dirty and gratuitous. I was completely uninspired. There was no story to it. Zac Efron is, I mean, I guess he's talented enough. The guy, I think he worries a little bit more. There he is. I think he worries a little bit more about the way he looks than his actual talent and craft or whatever. Because I don't know if anyone can remember, he could sing, he could dance, he could act a bit. But it just seems like he's sleepwalking. They said, so you'll be sleepwalking through the rest of your life. It seems like he's sleepwalking through every movie that he does. And Robert De Niro just rattling off these jokes where you could clearly see that people are behind the cameras yelling, say this, say that. How funny would it be to hear a 72-year-old man say this? And then let's say they do have a joke that lands, they'll just do it to death. So it's like it's funny at first, and then he'll say it again and again and again, and you're just like, all right, it's losing. It's not funny anymore. None of the jokes landed for me. A couple of people in the theater were laughing like, this guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. You know, so it's like kind of like if they're hitting that kind of demographic, then all right, I guess they'll be fine. But it just it was unfunny. It was just terrible. I'm sorry. I couldn't get through this movie. So in case you haven't noticed, I'm going to give this one a no-go. And it's just a waste of time. You know, you ever see those parts in movies, especially on the special feature DVDs and stuff like that, when they're rattling off jokes, like when Anchorman, when Will Ferrell is like the arsonist had oddly shaped feet and blah blah blah, and you know they just keep rattling stuff off like that. In the special features, they'll show you all the different variations of what they came up with, and then what they do, what good editors do, they'll pick the funniest one with the film crew. They'll be like, they'll pick the funniest one and they'll leave it in there. This one left all of them in. It's like he'll make fun of Zac Efron for doing something. He'll call him something, and then he'll call him something else, and something else, something else, something else, all in one sitting. So you're sitting there like, all right, it's kind of like, hey, is this funny for you? No, or maybe this will be funny for you. Well, if that's not funny for you, maybe this will be funny for you. And none of them were. So it's like when you have just completely uninspired jokes being completely offensive and dirty just for the sake of it, with no reasoning behind it, then it just doesn't work. It's just cardboard. It's grit. It's gross. So anyway. Sorry about the scathing review. I mean, I'm hoping for better from both of them in the future, but don't waste your time on this one. No go for Dirty Grandpa, which leads us to our last movie that we're going to be reviewing. It's kind of an odd thriller starring one of my favorite Walking Dead stars, Lauren Cohen. Anyway, it's called The Boy. Let's check it out.
We've had a number of potential nannies come through already. Do you think you can manage?
Of course.
I'm Malcolm.
Hi.
I'm the grocery boy. Well, grocery man.
Lead the way.
Allow me to introduce Mr. Hilscher. And this is our son, Brahms. Music gives him so much joy.
Brahms is not like other children. It is very important that you follow these rules. Be good to him and he'll be good to you.
No offense, Brahms, but you kind of creep me out.
You okay?
I needed someone else to see it.
See what?
If you leave him alone, then I'll give you a sign.
This is like some kind of magic trick, right?
It's not a trick. Tell me about the real Brahms.
He was downright strange.
A little girl from town used to come out here to play with Brahms.
They found her body in the woods.
By the time the police arrived, the place was up in flames.
Brahms didn't make it out.
Hello?
No one's been out there for years.
You wouldn't hurt me, would you, Brahms?
It's not safe in his house.
You don't understand what's happening. He's alive.
You will be good to him, won't you?
What? I remember the first time I saw this trailer, I was like, what? was like, why? Lauren Cohen, I mean, Walking Dead, Maggie, that's my heart and my soul. I'm like, why are you doing this? It reminds me of the last girl, one of the last movies we reviewed, The Forest, with the girl from Game of Thrones in it. Like, why do they choose these movies? But I was like, I'm gonna see this because I love Lauren Cohen. I could watch her forever because she is absolutely gorgeous and she's on The Walking Dead and she's badass. So I'll watch that for. I was coming in to see this movie with absolutely no expectations, which is probably what also helped the experience. Because to tell you the truth, I need you guys to keep an open mind here. I really had fun watching this movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was completely ridiculous walking into it, and just the title of it, The Boy. It's just like there's really nothing behind it. But I'm going to give you a little backstory here. When I was younger, we used to go to Hershey Park a lot every year because that's the only vacation that my poor family could afford, and it was amazing. And we had a great family time going there. But every time on the way back, we would stop by Amish country, and then there was this attraction in Amish country where it's a bunch of like mannequins and porcelain dolls type of like classroom that portrayed the way they used to live or whatever, used to learn. So like, yeah, this teacher like, this is what we're gonna learn today, doing it, all this stuff, and then like, and you have the kids sitting in their seats and like it's animatronic, and they're just like little kid pulling a girl's hair. So you say, the kid's like, I don't want to learn, I don't. So I'm sitting there like this, like as a kid, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified of those things. And that piled on top of the Goosebumps book, Night of the Living Dummy, which I used to love Goosebumps. I picked up Night of the Living Dummy, and I just stopped. I never read another one again because I was just, this movie plays on people's very real fears of dolls, and which I have. I am guilty of it. I'm not sure the correct terminology for it, but yes, I am not a fan of ventriloquist dummies. I'm not a fan of porcelain dolls that look creepy and weird and stuff like that. So when those kind of aspects are thrown into a movie, like let's say the clown in the Poltergeist or whatever, yeah, it's going to freak me out when those kind of things come to life. So now you have a movie that's centered around this porcelain doll who supposedly terrorizes this girl, stuff like that. So yeah, it's very chilling for people like me. And I have to admit, it was suspenseful. There was a lot of, like, you could tell they're playing on people's fear of dolls because there's a lot of long shots on the kid's face, like, so it's, and then they'll get close and close and they'll stay on it, and the kid's just like looking at you, and the whole time you're kind of squirming like, okay, what are you gonna do? So it was, and there's also a part of this movie where the marketing, don't get it wrong by the marketing. The marketing kind of messed this up, as it usually does for movies. I remember seeing one final push in the week when they were trying to make as much money as possible. They showed the doll's face turn into like a demon type thing, like their teeth growing and like, don't look at that. That wasn't in the movie. It had nothing to do with the movie. That was just a way to scare people in the commercial to go and see in it or whatever. So don't think that it's gonna be some kind of weird, like special effects thriller like that, because it's not. It had a decent story. Let me just say that it's much better than The Forest. The Forest was a terrible movie. So it's like if you needed to get a quick new thrill instead of watching like an old horror movie or whatever, I'd say this one is actually a decent one to watch because it takes like a third act turn that you don't see coming. And now it could necessarily, for some horror fans, mean a bad thing, but for me it meant a great thing. I was laughing. It was hilarious, third act reveal where I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I went to see it with a friend of mine who was a big horror fan. She enjoyed it as well, and we had a good time watching the movie, counting cliches, waiting for stuff to happen. So it's like I'm sitting there and I got my little cliche counter. I'm just like, okay, gratuitous shower scene, click, cliche number 1. Now all she has to do is leave the shower because she heard a noise. And there she goes. Click number 2. And then, oh, wait, there's that attic door that she couldn't open before because it was locked. Now it's wide open. Cliche number 3. And all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. Now it's all dark hallway. She's staring up in the attic. All she has to do is say hello. I was like, come on, say it. Come on, say it. Come on. She goes, hello? Click number 4. You got it. Yeah. So like counting the cliches were awesome. It was cliche heavy, which is fine because it was a good time watching it. So it's kind of like a cool experience to see something as ridiculous as this. But it wasn't bad. I'm going to have to go ahead and give this movie a go. I know, please, keep an open mind here. Keep an open mind and see it for yourself. I thought it was going to be terrible. I kept my expectations low, which I suggest you do as well, but it really wasn't that bad. So Lauren Cohen, keep it going. There she is. Look at her. She is gorgeous. And you see the way she's staring? And so every time she stares at him like that, and she's like waving her hand in his eyes because he's like creepy stuff's happening. She wants to see if he'll come to life right in front of her. So the camera goes to her perspective. So if she's staring at him like that, we're staring at him like that. And it is a very creepy doll. and everyone is acting creepy around it, and just the way they throw it on the chair or sitting there, and it's just like looking at her like just chilling on the chair. Yeah, I still get chills just thinking about it. So no, it's not terrifying. It's not the best horror movie you'll ever see, but for no horror movies being out right now except for like this in the forest, I would go with this one. Okay, and it was well acted too. The boy, I don't know if you remember Hellboy with Ron Perlman, the guy who played in Hellboy with him, like the kid that kind of befriended him. He's the star of this movie with her. So it's like the performances were fine. Lauren Cohen is a wonderful actress. She's very natural. She did her American accent, which was weird because it was based in London. The guy she was talking to had a British accent, so you would think she'd kind of go with her own. I'm not, it's not my decision. Character choice, I guess. I guess she wants to branch out and, work on her accent, which is fine with me. But, yeah, so I give this movie a go. So to recap the 3 movies today, The Fifth Wave, no go, wait for DVD. Dirty Grandpa, no go, don't wait for DVD. You will not get that hour and 42 minutes back of your life. And The Boy, I say go, but go with caution. Go with no expectations and go to just to see something ridiculous and fun if you have the money to spare. If you don't, then wait for it or whatever. So, yeah, that wraps it up this week. Next week, we'll come back with you with a whole new batch of movies. Kung Fu Panda 3. What? I can't wait for it. We're going to come back with you next week with a whole bunch of new movies, and we're wrapping up for today. So thanks for sticking by. We'll see you next week.